Hello everyone, this is Professor Reimer. This video is for my world history class on Monday, April 26th and Tuesday, April 27th. It's entitled Unit 9, DOL 5, The Russian Revolution. In this lesson, we will explain the causes of the Russian Revolution by creating an illustrated timeline that traces the Russian Revolution. So this is coming on the heels of us studying World War I, and you might have remembered hearing or reading that the Russian Empire left the war in 1917. That is directly related to the events that we're going to study today. So I'm just situating like the Russian Revolution. Many scholars date some all the way back to 1825, some to 1905. There are long-term causes to the events of 1917, but we're going to be focusing in this lesson on sort of those more immediate short-term causes that lead to the establishment of the USSR in 1922. But before we get to all of that, let's take a look at this picture. This is the Romanov family. Study it. What impression does it give you? How might it help explain why members of the working class revolted against the Tsar's reign? By the way, this is the Tsar, the Russian word for Caesar. He's the ruler, or was the ruler of the Russian Empire. So pause the video, answer these questions. Okay, for me, it gives me an impression of people who are elite, wealthy, and a bit out of touch. Like I don't feel a lot of warmth coming from their gazes. So it might explain how the working class felt ignored, felt like their rulers didn't really understand them, and that might help explain why they revolted against this czar and sadly murdered him and his family in 1921. All right, to another section of our McGraw-Hill textbook. We've been diving into this chapter for the last couple of weeks. It's one of the better chapters in the textbook, so it's one of the reasons why we're using it as part of our gathering information of class. Remember, like class is really broken down into three parts. Two of them are the most important. The first part we just did, right? The preview. The second part is the engagement. This is where you engage with material, you gather information so that you can help meet the objective. And then in the third and final part of a lesson, this is the processing, where you show me that you have learned some skill or some bit of information. You're going to show me that you've met the objective in some kind of activity. So here we are. Let's engage with this section of the textbook. Make notes on the causes. What led to, what's another synonym for cause? Led to, resulted in, like helped result in. There are many others, but that's what I want you to make notes on. If you would prefer, there is the guided reading PDF that I've also included in the assignment. So if that's more your style, you can go get that from the lesson. So pause the video and do this now. All right, welcome back. So now we're into the processing. So now you're going to show me that you have mastered the objective on explaining the causes of the Russian Revolution. We're going to do it in an activity we've done a few times this year, and that is an illustrated timeline that traces the Russian Revolution. Here are the requirements. At least 5 events that span from the February, and as you read, or does the textbooks mention? I can't remember. At the time in 1917, the Russian Empire was using a slightly different calendar than most of the rest of the world. It was a calendar that was about 2 weeks behind everyone else. So it was Russian February when the Tsar abdicated, but like the U.S. March. So that's why there's a difference in dates. Anyway, so from the February Revolution of 1917 to the establishment of the USSR in 1922, that's 5 year. Can't do math here. Yeah, 5 year. 5 year span. Illustrated, which means each event needs to have an accompanying illustration. And this is the most important part. Each illustrated event should be accompanied by a written explanation of the significance of the event in causing the revolution. So this is a chance for you to practice that part of essay writing where you're explaining your evidence. Okay. So first you have to choose the evidence. which events you think helped cause the revolution, propel it forward, right? And then you have to explain why you chose it, right? This event is significant because, and then you say why, right? It changed power. It gathered a lot of attention. It had an economic component of some kind, right? So you see, I use some themes there. Don't forget your themes in helping you identify both causes and then writing your explanations. As before, I recommend using Google Slides as your medium to do your illustrated timeline. But if you want to do it on paper, that's fine. If you want to do it in a Google Doc, that's fine. If you want to use some other program, that's fine. Just make sure you have these requirements, right? 5 events, illustrations for each, and most importantly, the written explanations. All right, guys, work hard on it. I'll see you in the Google Meet.